Hey everybody, Clifford Stummy here, Pop Song Professor. Welcome to my channel. If you like deep music, you've come to the right place because that's all we talk about here. And today we're talking about Melanie Martinez's song Milk and Cookies at the request of actually several people. The Banana Project 15, someone else's Sleep, PRP2, and then Karen Villalobos, and then singer-writer-lover 24. Now, we aren't doing the full mashup between Tag Your It and Milk and Cookies. We're just doing Milk and Cookies, but we could do Tag Your It at a later date. Though, discussing the mashup music video is going to come into this whole thing because I'll tell you in just a sec. I got a couple of announcements real quick. One, the reason my voice is so echoey is because I am moving. And so, as you can see, there are many fewer books than are usually here. They are actually in our new house, but I'm going to go ahead and film these videos anyway before we finish the moving. Otherwise, you guys would be waiting like a whole week. So a little bit echoey. That's what we're going to have to deal with. The other thing is that if you are a fan of what's happening on this channel, don't forget to check out my Patreon. It's in a link in the description down below. Great place to not only support what I'm doing so that more people can see more videos, but also it's a great place for you to be able to choose which songs that I explain. Essentially, you support me for like $1 or $2 or something a month, and then you get access to super cool behind-the-scenes stuff. So it's a cool place for us to collaborate, and I hope to see you guys there. But if you're not able to, no worries. This whole channel will always be free. The last thing is a little bit of bad news. Unfortunately, Melanie Martinez Mondays may be taking a break for a little while. I kind of feel like we're losing some momentum because we've explained and talked about a lot of her most popular songs, and so unless a lot of people really start enjoying these and watching a lot of them, it's probably going to just go on a little bit of a break. We might be replaced by Mumford & Sons Mondays or Eminem Mondays. In fact, I was looking at the comments on last week's video, and the top comments weren't suggested songs for Melanie Martinez. They were all, well, one of them was about 21 Pilots, one of them was about Eminem, and so I figured, yeah, you know what, it might be time to move on to somebody else, just temporarily. That being said, let's jump into it. Now, if you've watched the music video mashup for Tag Your It and Milk and Cookies, you've probably noticed that they're about child stalker, kidnappers, pedophile, something like that. Essentially, there is this person dressed up as a wolf. Well, he's got a wolf head, and he's like an ice cream man. He kidnaps Melanie Martinez's character Crybaby in the Tag Your It portion, and then he forces her to bake cookies for him in his underground ice cave until she poisons him in the Milk and Cookies one. So keep that in mind as we go into these lyrics. That's very important to the Tag Your It lyrics, and I'm excited to find out if it's also important to the Milk and Cookies lyrics. So these lyrics are actually pretty interesting, and they fit in very well with the story of the music video in which she kills that wolf. In the verse 1, she says, "Melatonin is coming for you, baby, won't you lock the door? I'm done with this, it's getting late, so close your eyes, sleep for days." Now, it almost sounds peaceful, and it definitely fits with the Crybaby persona because it's almost as though it's singing to a little child. But she's using her childlike powers, actually, to overcome her captor, or at least she's describing them in this sort of like childlike metaphor as her way of like relating to them and working through them. And it kind of fits with the shtick of the whole album, Crybaby. In the pre-chorus, she says, "Hush, little baby, drink your spoiled milk. I'm effing crazy, need my prescription filled. Do you like my cookies? They're made just for you. A little bit of sugar, but lots of poison too." And that's exactly what happens in the music video. She poisons the wolf, and so you really get the feeling that she is singing to this person that she has conquered, that she's beat, this person who preys on children. And so she says that she's crazy, and she's using the powers of her craziness and the fact that her prescription hasn't been filled, which apparently makes her emotionally imbalanced or unstable, perhaps mentally so. And so she's allowing all of that to come out, and she's channeling it towards her attacker and making it, I think, easier for herself to be okay with the idea of killing another human being. I also feel like she's appealing to an audience that doesn't often feel like it has the ability to completely just let go, like it's always being regulated by parents or teachers or somebody always telling these kids, all right, do this, do that, never lets them just go crazy and do exactly what they want to do. And so she's kind of standing in for them and saying, all right, I'm going to go and do exactly what I want to do and take care of this wolf my way, which is a little bit of a problem because it sounds something like escapism, where we imagine a world that's better than the world we live in, and then we want to be in that world instead of the real world we're in. But is it really healthy? If we watch the music video, she stays to throttle the wolf and let that craziness come out while he's dying, and instead of running away. I think in any situation, I think in any real world situation like that, the child should always run away immediately and try to get to safety, rather than stay and try to defeat the wolf even further or to take out some sort of punishment on it. It doesn't look like she actually hastened its death. It just looked like she sort of reveled in her victory. And I'll tell you, bragging or reveling in your victory or beating down your opponent when they're down instead of taking care of your own immediate safety is just never a good idea. All right, so we get into the chorus. Ashes, ashes, time to go down. Oh, honey, do you want me now? Can't take it anymore. Need to put you to bed, sing you a lullaby where you die at the end. Again, this is to the wolf. He's dying, and she is essentially putting him to sleep. The milk and cookies. Now, milk is often, or warm milk, will put people to sleep, or it makes you sleepy, right? That's the idea behind it. I believe the chemical makeup hastens that sleepiness, and so she's using the cookies for the poison, and then the milk is kind of where this sleeping, going to bed metaphor comes in. We come into verse 2, never want to see you again, I pull off black so well, and this could be a reference to the fact that he is about to have his funeral, or that she's just got a very dark imagination. Shit behind the curtains that I'm sick of sugarcoating. Next time you're alone, think fast when you grab the phone. And in the music video, he actually tries to call her, I think, on the phone or something like that to let her know that he's coming. I wasn't quite sure what he was using the phone for. Maybe he was calling a friend or letting the friend know, like, hey, cookies are ready or something like that. But she's telling him, like, before you come in and try to take these cookies, like, you better think twice or think fast because these are poisonous cookies, bro. And that's essentially all of the unique lyrics in Milk and Cookies. I think it's a very interesting song. I worry a little bit that there are some not so positive messages in here. Like, obviously, we don't want bad things to happen to children, especially at the hands of pedophiles and things like that. But to encourage kids to develop their own cruel side in this effort to defeat them rather than to prioritize their own safety, which is kind of a little bit of a hint of a message that I got from the music video and from the song itself. It's like she's relishing in her own ability to be cruel to this person who obviously doesn't deserve any mercy. But you kind of think, like, wouldn't it be better to just play it safe and just to run away and let somebody else take care of him? Like, we're not supposed to, engage in vigilante justice or to mete out our own justice. I don't know, it weirded me out a little bit. I thought it was something that we definitely should talk about. And I'd love to hear what you guys think about that. Do you think that she portrays a character that's too willing to go into, like, beat her enemies even after they're defeated and obviously dying? Yeah, I'd love to hear what you guys think about that. But in any case, if we are going to have another Melanie Martinez Monday, which I'll know by next Sunday, it just kind of depends on how many people actually care about this video. But feel free to go ahead and comment a Melanie Martinez song that you'd like to hear me explain in the future. And, we'll see what happens. So, in any case, guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you have a deeper appreciation of the song as a result. Talk to you next time.